Alright, everybody, good morning. Welcome to the live stream for anybody who is either joining in, I guess, what's recorded on YouTube, or anybody who's in there right now, potentially. Hope everybody's having a great afternoon, evening, or morning. So, I guess today's mission, I've actually been inspired to finally build my little dream ship because I've been working on the space stations, I guess the home front, as I'm liking to call that station, and then the gas station. And right now I've been working on a ship that looks very similar to the Redeemer or Reclaimer from Star Citizen, but at the same time I've just been, of course, not. I've been making different little versions, and of course I'm going to make the Space Engineers version, and I'm actually going to do my best to give it a proper and functioning bay door, as I've done on a version of one of them, if I can find it. Which one was that? The Cthulhu? That was the Cthulhu. This one, right, yep, right there. Except this one has a little tug drone on it. That's its only difference. And yeah, the main goal today is just to kind of edit this. I'm debating on keeping the railgun. Right now I'm using this one as dissection for parts for specific rooms, and I'm probably gonna actually, you know what, let's work on that first. Let's redesign our little thruster cell. So I know I want the biggest thruster, hydrogen. Oh, and we are actually going to make sure we're still on gray. We're gonna make this out of carbon fiber. We're gonna go ahead and actually, I don't use it very often, and it technically gives that industrial feel. Also, for anybody who is, I guess, gonna follow along at some point, this is a scripted vehicle, because I'm going to be using a script to control the subgridded thrusters on the side, though technically I will upload a finished version of just the pure regular raw vanilla, nothing changed, basic subgridding for like 2 custom turrets, the little crane arm, and then this little turret right there. And after that, I've got little docking spaces for top and technically bottom, which I think I want to change with the new one, because first I want to make new cells, because I want to create little finned, like, magnetic plates that can act like toes, I guess, or hands or fingers, whatever you want to consider it, for whenever it wants to land on planets. And then, of course, I'm going to have it connected to a rotor, which will be armored. I don't know how I want to armor it, but I know I will. Hold on. I do have a version of the Reclaimer here, which almost pretty much got it really freaking like spot on its design. I definitely just didn't like, here, let me get into my free cam so we can take a little better look inside of this. I did not like its interior. I did not like the fact that this was basically pointless. You see that? I know, it is there for just decoration and thruster cells, which that one isn't even on. Wanna know why? Because if it was on, it'd start breaking stuff because it's inside. I don't know who. This made no sense. You have no access to this other than from outside, which I don't even think we had. Yeah, there's like no outside access ports, and the thing is, she's huge. Look at it. Like, I'll give it the credit. Look at this design for armor. Actually, how the... Did he only use ion thrusters? He did. Oh, so he wouldn't even have to worry about... What the fuck? Why is that clipping? Really badly at that. Hold on. Okay, that's the elevator to go down, like the normal Redeemer, or Reclaimer. That makes sense. Where's the... Okay, hold on. Where are you? Oh. Gotcha. I was just gonna do the rotor right here off the side, but seeing this, I'll give it, you know what, the creator, you did a fucking bomb job on the detailing. I really like the use of the suspensions for like the gear work on the, I guess technically, I guess, boom? I don't even, I get the arm for this thing. The feet throw me off. I like them. I really do. But feel... I'm gonna make little toes that'll actually lock. Like, they'll come out and lock. Alright. I know, though I will give it the credit, the weapons on this thing were a little bit less than ideal. But technically more than what I had, though this is exactly what I plan to do right here. Though it looks like that's just on a piston system. Oh yeah, I forgot. Oh. What's up with this one? You don't have a cargo port, do you? Though, no, I'll give it the credit. This is exactly what I was aiming for, in regard to like the little room. Though this is not what I would turn this into a room. I would turn this into the shower. Then come out here. Not well, actually, yeah, no, let this be the cockpit dot. Look at it, look at this thing, look at it, beautiful. Actually, technically, that could be done. But that'll have to be done with subgrid. The subgrid of a subgrid is essentially what I would be doing, but this thing is freaking huge. So, no. Alright. Back to what we were focusing on. Where were we? Oh yeah, I guess. And technically I still want to keep it as vanilla as possible. So technically, even if it is not scripted, you can technically do the thruster override, and I'm down to do that with just Ion, because that's not that bad of an idea. Because at least then I don't have to feel the piping. But I really like those being my thrusters and having like little toes come off to like the little edges to act as the feet as I land. Because then it really wouldn't hurt to do like a hinge here and a hinge inside, just to kind of offset it on the ground. And then as, nah, that'd be dumb, never mind. So wait, hold on, isn't that what these things do? Also, yeah, look at that size comparison. My little version of the Reclaimer versus his version of the Reclaimer. That is a huge difference. Okay, so now that I got some ideas off of that one, we'll go ahead and start with the thrusters, which of course we are going to use the large warfare iron. You're going to keep it that carbon fiber. And I know I've got two weird grays, I don't know why, and I haven't changed action. Hold on, F10. Color palette, we'll look that up. Yeah, no, I've been. Let's reload that real quick. Because I want that color palette, I want to adjust some of my colors. There's like, I want to keep the gray. Like that one was, that's the color I'm using for all my primary stuff for the DED. With a hint of blue. Because of course, screw red, everybody's red. At least for like the PvE aspect. PvP, everybody's ever color black, white. Mainly, I'm seeing a lot of people like streaming wise do white. I've been seeing the engineer dude do the orange. Still not bad on that aspect. Alright, let's see here. Color, do we get it? We did. Prefab color. Thank you. Hello. Alright, we're gonna go cutting. That'll be the orange I need there. I would like technically that purple. I'm gonna my mustard yellow probably. No, not the mustard yellow. Is it mustard yellow? Is that considered mustard yellow? You will be brown. on that one. Yeah, there really isn't much of the color palette that ultimately I really needed. I can keep it different shades of blue. Actually, here technically we'll do this. Get you, then get here. That one, get that bright green. We'll get rid of you. And that one we'll do. Oy, pink, blue, weird green, cyan. God damn that. What to give it? What to give it? What to give it? What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Actually, yeah, let's go for that. Let's go for that little mahogany color, that maroon, almost. So I got the brown. The thruster cells, we will go back to that carbon fiberable gray. We'll go back to the warfare thruster. Make sure you're still in large grid. Give it that. I'm not going to attach a battery to it. I don't feel like that's necessary. I mean, fuck, I still have to keep in mind the actual size of the ship. There's no point making a cell if it's not even proportional to the actual body. Alright, let's keep up with the main feature I wanted to keep in play. We'll go back to the battered armor. We'll stick with the gray. Alright, I'm gonna start with the conveyor. Match. Because it takes like 2.5 blocks. So technically, probably 4 blocks. Attach that. Get the hinge. Let's lay that sideways. That's 2. No, then that's fine. Then we'll be fine. Keep that up there. Both. I need y'all both facing the same way, and you keep track with this little tab right there. That side means the negative. That side means the positive. For those who do not know, and get the square piston, because we're going to want this to transfer materials, because this will be the primary little arm for the drill. And it will be needing a timer, so we will have a little logistics room, but this room will also, okay, this entire ship will also be designed to be entirely self-sufficient. It will have an assembler, it will have a refinery, it will have a Prototech drill, it will have of course a docking bay. It'll be my ship, and then ultimately I'm going to do my best to make sure I design it to where it can dock into most stations, because the version I have built is not safe for the versions I like, because I keep blowing up the docking bridges that I have that'll come in through the side because I'm too close to this thruster cell whenever I'm trying to get to it, because I'm trying to line it straight up to the connector right there and then walk across. But as you can see, I can pretty much hit my head almost. If I'm just too tall, hit that block. But ultimately with my hinge, with the subgrids and stuff like that, it causes it to move a little bit, specifically down, so that comes down, so whenever I bring my bridge up, it smashes into the cell, blows that up, blows that up, blows that up, and oddly enough I have these little, the catwalk, the little, okay, first of all, yeah, this needs to be slightly rearranged. though we will need to be keeping light and heavy in mind. Whenever we're doing these, we'll keep round, light and heavy, light and heavy. The truss, the beam block, lights, yep, doors. We are not going to need a gate. I am To have, yeah, you know, we'll keep them just to be safe. Ladder probably won't be used often enough. Yes, that'll be used. That'll be used. We'll switch that out with the graded catwalk. And go ahead and put that prototype stuff right there just so we can get that ready. But yeah, we had just a graded catwalk, and it got hit by that bridge. It caused this entire section, the connector, and a couple things inside, almost over to the fucking flak gun, to be damaged. And that was just the catwalk basically being ripped off. So the big plan is to find an adjusted little ship. I just wanted to make it more efficient with the mining aspect, so I don't have to get out as much. Now we need a connector junction there. Actually, specifically, a straight. E to go across, and then I want piston to come out. So let us take this Prototech drill, put it like that. Look at that thing. Look at this little sucker. Talk about a drill. And then yeah, so that's so what I'm going to do is actually, oh yeah. Oh duh, yeah. Actually, let's go ahead and get that taken care of. Get my merge blocks to make this all one grid, because I do want to connect both of them. There we go. I'm creative. This is my think tank. It's for everything. Also, I will plan at some point to turn these little defense stations. I actually do plan to, at some point, turn them into flying drones, specifically meant to follow around my little makeshift reclaimer. Because I know I'm going to need the protection whenever I go against Factorum, and I know my reclaimer will not be decked out. And that's fine. I'm okay with that. It is everybody's builds, anybody's builds does not have to be big and elaborate and all the extra pizzazz. I choose to take my extra steps because I enjoy greebling. I enjoy the little tidbit shit. Not everybody does, and that is ultimately okay. Let's see here. But the plan is I will have a timer set to put those hinges a little angled forward, probably about, we'll probably go 45. It'll go 45. These will go negative 45. The piston will come out to extend it to drill whatever we need to drill. And whenever it's done, these will actually go to negative 90. Those will go to positive 90. All the pistons will retract in and stuff like that, and they will fold up into each other right here. I just make sure to leave space. I need to make sure to leave space. many. Even the gravel's still not a bad idea to hold on to. Yeah. I guess let's go ahead. You know what? No, we're gonna go ahead and do what we need to on this aspect. Make here we are. Well, probably bring it back down to like probably what 45. Much darker. Probably 40. Dark enough, I guess. I'll take it. Go ahead and mirror this. Because essentially all I plan to do is create a little housing. I do not want to add the excess mass where it is not needed. So none of this will actually be heavy armor for any of those who are concerned about that. Please do not be. So that way it also technically lines up with that. I guess. No, I don't. I can close. Honestly, I don't even want to leave it like that because I kind of want to leave it. I still want to leave like the gray design somewhere. We're about to do that. So just put it up here. I said that wasn't going to be heavy, and I did heavy. There we go. Then I can technically specific texture. I did kind of like the bridge. I'm definitely going to adjust it. At least that should be able to. No, I guess. Don't specifically, or yeah, we'll have it pretty much just above it. Put my mouse away from it, so I'm just not rubbing my wrist. Trying to figure out. So I want to create a flush spacing up here for it. But you know what? Let's go ahead. Throw a battery on there for the sake of it. Get in there. Okay, hinge. We will call that the DA dash 4 drill arm. Hinge, copy that one, paste. Hinge going to body. Body, and then we will do these to the drill. There we go. We'll go ahead, since that one just do nickel, go ahead and proceed on all 4. Drill arm. Drill. Keep all that the same. Actually, you know, hold on. Let's register the station first. Then let's get a timer.
Just real quick, get that hooked up.